The next topic is all about service definitions. A service definition defines the building blocks or the functions that are necessary for bringing up a particular service with a booking. Now let's have a look in DataMiner. I'm going to the apps. This time I'm going to the services app. Under definitions, this here is a list with all of our service definitions in the system. I have an existing one, my satellite downlink service definition, and these are the building blocks for downlinking a signal from satellite. I have a source, satellite, antenna, and so on, up until the decoding part. I can add multiple service definitions to my system just by adding or clicking the Add Definition button. I give my service definition a name, a description, and simply by dragging in all the necessary building blocks or my functions, I can build my entire service definition. I can define what are the necessary functions for this particular service. Later on, this service definition can then be used by this bookings manager to really create a booking from it. So let me discard this one and let's go into deep into the satellite downlink service definition. So the first thing that we see is the name. We give, of course, a unique name to our service definition. Next, optionally, it's a description, and then I can specify a visio. This visio is the visio that you will see on your service, the service that is created by the Bookings Manager application. Then we see three tabs. We have Configuration, Properties, and Actions tab. The Configuration tab is the one that I just used for dragging in my functions for creating my my actual chain. Let's discard again. The next one are properties, properties on service definition level. I see here two properties available. The first one is the data transfer rules configuration. I will not go into detail on this one because there will be a separate video about DTR rules. So just know that over here you can add multiple properties on a service definition level. The next one is important, and that's the virtual platform property. This one is equals set, because this service definition can be used by my Bookings Manager application that has this virtual platform. The only Bookings Manager application that I have has this virtual platform, so I make this set. Then we have actions. Again, I will come back on the actions later on. For now, just know that you can add multiple actions over here. These actions correspond to the actions that need to be executed at start or stop of your booking. But again, I will come back on this at a later stage. Coming back to my configuration tab page, actually I can now click on each of my building blocks, each of my functions, and also on each of my interfaces. And on each of these, I have again parameters and properties that can be set. So if I click, for example, on my antenna block, I have here the first one under the parameters tab is a label. This label is mandatory. You cannot leave this empty. If you leave this empty, you cannot use this service definition with the Bookings Manager application, because this label is used as a unique identifier in several scripts. If you leave this empty and you try to create a booking from this service definition, it will complain and it will give you an error saying not all labels are defined on all your blocks. What else? We have also properties, but before going to the properties, let's create maybe a booking in the system. So if I hit the new button in the Bookings Manager application, this is here now the wizard that is starting to create a new booking. I will give this a name. Like this. I select my service definition. This corresponds to the one in my services app. I only have one, so that's why I only see my satellite downlink service definition. I will only see here the service definitions for my virtual platform, which is set. I can specify a pre-roll, a post-roll, some timing. I will come back then on this page here in a second, so let's skip this one for now. And just to show you, all of the blocks that are shown in the service definition over here are now available in a list for creating or for choosing a particular resource. Now let's go a little bit more into the properties here, because you see, let's open this wizard again. The first one is source, the second one is satellite. This has a particular order. To define this configuration order, you have to specify a property on each of the nodes. As you can see, my source node has a configuration order equals 0. The next one has a value 1, 2, 3, and so on. So this is the order defined for configuring each of the functions. That's a first part. Now I skipped this page over here. This one is letting me enter a site. This is a variable which can be either London or Paris. By selecting here the Paris, for example, in the next step it will only let me choose resources from Paris. If I select London, it will only let me select resources available in London. How is this working? Well, on each block you can add a particular JSON string. As you can see over here on my antenna block, for example, I have a property called resource assignment with this JSON string. And I copied this string to an editor just to have some nice highlighting. What's inside this JSON string? Well, there are actually one or more conditions. I have here a condition. I just called it condition A. It's an operation and it has as value 3 parts. It has a first operand, an operator, and a second operand. The first one is equal to, it's link this to a variable called site. That's the variable that is being asked in my wizard. Just to show you, that's this one. That's my site. I have here an operator equal, so my site needs to be equal to, and my second operand is my location capability on my resource. If I check my antenna resources, so let's go to the resources, I have a particular capability on each of my antennas. It's a location capability, this one. This location capability, so this one needs to be equal to the site that I have chosen in my wizard. Again, my variable defined in my wizard needs to be equal to the resource capability on my resource. So only then it will show only the matching resources in my wizard in the next step. So here I chose London. It will only show me the London resources because only for the London resources this one matches. And I need to specify this then on each of my resources, each of my functions, excuse me. Same for matrix input. I will only select matrix inputs or outputs that are available in London or in Paris. Same for my demodulating resources, descrambling and decoding resources. This capability, but again, we will see later everything about capabilities. This capability on my resource, my location, actually comes from a profile parameter. If I go to my profiles, profile parameters, there is a profile parameter called location, which can be either London or Paris, and this one has a category capability. Only then you can specify on your resource a location capability. The resource assignment property on one of my service definition blocks. Just know that there might be more properties that you might need to add for specific applications. Another one out of the top of my head is the options property that might be equal to hidden. That means that if a certain block is set to hidden, it will not be available or shown here in the wizard. Another one is options equal optional. That means that you don't have to specify a resource for that particular function in your service definition. So if you leave this blank, you are still able to continue with your booking, go to a running state, and so on.